So let me introduce our speakers of the session. Can we have the slide, please, introducing our speakers? Let me introduce our moderator of the session, Mr. Samir Arora, Honorary Secretary, National Association of Realtors, which is NAR-India, President of CREA, which is Confederation of Real Estate Associates of India. Samir Arora is a veteran with 3 decades of industry experience. International marketing has been his forte and real estate is his passion. In fact, he conducts sessions and roadshows in USA every year on wealth creation via real estate as an asset class. So the right person who should be talking about marketing and getting the best views from our speakers on this panel. Let me introduce our speakers in an alphabetical order. We have with us Mr. Amit Parsuramka, Senior Vice President and Chief Sales and CRM Officer, Tata Realty at Infrastructure Limited. Mr. Parsuramka has over 22 years of experience in leading and driving sales within the consumer durables and real estate sector. He has served as ex-president investment at Lodha Ventures, Omkar Developers. He's been president sales residential at Lodha Group. So over a decade of experience in leading diverse sales and marketing roles he has had with not only FMCG companies, but the major players of real estate. I welcome Amit on this session. Our next eminent speaker, Darshan Govindaraju, Director, Vaishnavi Group. He is spearheading the expansion of the commercial portfolio for the group, residential sales and marketing as well. He has been involved prominently in Vaishnavi's commercial segment, where he is instrumental in building and maintaining investors' confidence and driving new developments. A young developer, second generation developer, he's here with us on the panel to talk about the technology-driven marketing with us today. Another dynamic speaker that we have on this session is Ms. Reeza Sebastian. She is the President, Residential Business Embassy Group. She is a professional member of the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors. She has over 18 years of experience in the fields of brand management, marketing, and sales, spanning diverse industries such as real estate, FMCG, and ITES. So very warm welcome to Reeza on this panel. Our next panel member I introduce, Mr. Srinivasan Subramanyam. He is the CEO for SNN Builders, and with years of advertising, communications, and marketing experience, Mr. Srinivasan is currently at the helm of SNN Builders Limited, and he has ensured that the company is placed within the top 10 real estate developers in a very short span of time. Prior to joining SNN, Mr. Srinivasan was with TBWA in the Middle East as managing director and has coordinated some of the best brands with his team on key international accounts. So he comes with a big experience in advertising and marketing with a perspective from global way of marketing and advertising. Our next and final panel member I introduce, Mr. Vikram Kotnis. He's the managing director, Sell.Do Amura Marketing Technologies. Vikram Kotnis is a seasoned marketer with a technological outlook to problem solving. He has over 18 years of experience in incubating and scaling up successful businesses. While Amura is a growth marketing agency, Vikram also founded Sell.Do, a product company which provides comprehensive CRM solutions in the real estate domain. So a varied speakers, a profile of speakers that we have on this session. Let's have them on the screen. And Samir, I hand it over to you to now take over this session. We have a very diverse set of speakers, so all yours.
Great. So do we start? I see all the panelists in there. So good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Arora.
The way an operating system needs the updating, similarly, the world probably needed a change, and it's changing. We all have to accept and embrace it, because I guess we are at ground zero today. And that is how we grow stronger. In the wake of COVID-19, the pandemic that has probably captivated us inside our homes, started a work from home culture, and a lot of us saw this as a crisis. But today we are all beginning to look at this pandemic as an opportunity to bring complete digitization into an everlasting industry where all of us belong, the real estate industry. So let's formally start our webinar, The Digital Marketing Catalyst that Transformed Real Estate. To all the audience, today we have a very special panel of speakers from different domains of real estate to break down this uncertainty and give us a gist of how real estate industry has been transformed by digitization and digital marketing already, and where we are headed post-pandemic digitally. I had penned this on a mail. Disruptive innovation can hurt if you are not the one who's doing the disruption. It is my pleasure to host these 5 panelists who are all major innovators and disruptors in the industry. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our panelists very briefly with the names first, and as I ask them questions, I will give their detailed introductions. Just remember, each one of them is an achiever in the industry and a mover and shaker in their own domain. So please raise your hand so that everybody knows, even though your names are visible. Mr. Amit Parsuramka, he's a Senior Vice President and Chief Sales and CRM Officer at Tata Realty and Infrastructure Limited. Mr. Darshan Govindaraju, the Director at Vaishnavi Group. Hi, sir.
Hello, Mr. Arora.
Reeza, Sebastian, the President at Residential Business Embassy Group. Good to have you, ma'am.
Hi, Samir. Welcome, everyone.
Mr. Srinivasan Subramanyam, CEO at SNN Builders, and I have the pleasure of being on the same panel with him multiple times this year. Thank you. And Mr. Vikram Kotnis, the MD at Sell.Do Amura Marketing Technologies. Thank you so much. So welcome to all of you. I'll start with Mr. Amit. Mr. Amit has over 22 years of experience in leading and driving sales within the consumer durables and real estate sectors. He has served as the ex-president investment at Loda Ventures, as a CMO at Onkar Developers, president sales residential at Loda Group, and over a decade of experience in leading diverse sales and marketing roles in FMCG companies. Just before I come to the question to you, Amitji, let me just state it, dry webinars are not my forte, so allow me to crack a little bit of pun in here and there just to build up the momentum. So since you understand economy so well, I just wanted to share through this lockdown, there are enough interactions every couple has been having. I've probably spoken to my wife more in last 1 year than I have in last 25 years. But, she asked me to explain economy one day. And I told her in very simple terms that my hair has undergone recession. My stomach is undergoing an inflation. And this COVID-19 and the lockdowns have put my business in a major recession. So, but I'm sure you understand and can explain economy better. So we've been under lockdown and slow phases. There's a sense of insecurity amongst the entire world. The business economy in next 6 to 1 month. So pandemic, lockdowns, partial opening of economy, vaccine, insecurities ahead. Do you think homes can be sold online after the industry transformation with digital marketing? That's my question.
Yes, 100%. I mean, I'll straight away jump to the answer without getting into how you started off this entire discussion with, which was nice of you to introduce me in as elaborate terms as you could. Thanks for that. But just to tell you, when the pandemic hit, all of us, all the panel members and other dignified, real estate professionals in various competition houses. I have been, in touch with most of them. Everybody was a bit insecure in the sense, how would we go forward? Home sales are essentially a very high engagement selling product category, and right at the top end of the requirement matrix. And we all felt that will be a bit difficult. But as Indians, we adapted very well, and I could tell you very clearly, in the first month of April itself in this financial year, the first 15 days was when we had multiple sessions, discussions, roundtables, internal, external, talking to various people, channel partners, essentially, because they were the ones who were essentially a very important integral part of the entire selling process. So when we interacted with them, they were a bit of a loss. They were expecting us to give them solutions. But the intent was correct. They said, yes, sir, we can always do that, provided you help us out. So we figured out exactly where the need gap was and how can we fill that need gap. So we realized that everybody was in need of the customer to be there in the first place. So if we can get to the customer, then there are various intermediaries who can actually step in and help the customer on board in the buying process. And that's exactly the reason why we went up to the digital arm of the overall marketing function, and we kind of pressed the pedal there, deployed all our resources, started using the social media to the fullest, being there, trying to be visible across various platforms, both on the digital side as well as in various other non-marketable sites as well, where we could make ourselves visible. And using that platform, we started generating inquiries. Initially, it was not selling. Initially, more it was to how to deal with COVID. We took the social route. We took the healthcare route. We tried to express our concern with our customer set as to how are we dealing with the pandemic, how are we dealing with our existing customers who are residing in various projects of ours. And using that particular platform, we try to garner extra interest of our future prospects and customers. And slowly and steadily, we could see that there were serious buyers. There were people who clearly realized that if I don't have a house now, then I'm missing the bus completely. They had trouble with their landlords. They had trouble with other situations in various cities that they were into, and then they realized how important it is to owning a house. So first thing that we saw was the customer set was a serious buyer. He was no longer a window shopper. He was inquiring purely with the mind to buy a house with the budget that he had or the limited budget that he had. But the good part was that I could reach out to that customer thanks to the digital technology. While it was there in place, it was one of the arms for us to reach out to the customer, but it became the most important and the critical and the largest arm for us to talk to our customer. And then slowly and steadily, we developed various digital assets, videos, show around videos, e-chats, platforms where we could talk to our customers, solve their queries. We organized various platforms for our partners to interact and do Q&As. And through that, we kind of created that comfort, minus the physical touch and feel of the house that they would eventually buy. Everything was available online. And that made our job easier in terms of selling houses. So it was April, very slow, May, slightly better, June, we peaked, and every successive month was better than the previous month. And around August, September, I think we kind of busted this myth that home sales can't happen digitally or in an environment where there is partial lockdown, unlocking one is happening, travel restrictions are on. And I'm sure all of the fellow panelists here can agree with me that September and October and November are, again, the bigger months over the previous quarters. So that way, I think our sales are growing, and month on month, we are registering higher growths. And home sales are happening the way it was happening pre-COVID, just that the numbers are slightly different, slightly softer, but sooner or later we are going to catch up on those numbers as well. So that's my take to your question.
Absolutely fantastic. I think summed up beautifully for the whole industry, and that's the trend that we have seen everywhere, which is where I keep saying it's probably the most resilient industry, A lot of people wanted to write it off when COVID hit, and we bounced back and how. So thank you so much, Amit ji. My next question would be to Darshan ji. Darshan Govindaraju is spearheading the expansion of commercial portfolio, residential sales and marketing. He has been involved prominently in Vaishnavi's commercial segment, where he is instrumental in building and maintaining investor confidence and driving new developments. He has pushed for all new buildings to attain an IGBC or LEED certification and adaptation of technology-driven construction practices. Darshan, I personally know, never misses an opportunity and has a keen eye in the commercial segment, a trait which I think he picked up from his father, whom we all respect in the industry. Darshan, all I can tell you is I am very similar. I also have this habit of never missing an opportunity, but unlike you, I picked it up from my wife. I remember once I ate a aspirin by mistake, and in panic I called her and said, "What do I do?" And that's when she taught me never miss an opportunity, and she gave me a headache so that the aspirin is utilized. Jokes apart, let's come to the commercial segment. So commercial real estate and digital marketing were not considered natural allies conventionally. Given the work from home culture now, especially in the IT industry, and the impact that 2020 has left us with, how do you see digital marketing to be a new catalyst for commercial real estate industry and its future? Darshanji.
Thank you, Mr. Arora. Thank you for your question. And like you rightly mentioned at the beginning, digital marketing would not be considered natural, an ally for commercial marketing. Because you take, for instance, leasing now. Leasing is a very local, very relationship and very mandate-driven business. It's not something that you can, put up online and really monetize off that. Whereas we've been seeing a lot more use cases for digitization in commercial real estate of late. If you think of the opportunities that co-working has brought about, any worker or any business person sitting at their home has the opportunity to log into the computers today and have access to the best of workspaces and the infrastructure that those various places provide. And all that has been brought about with the digitization of that co-working has brought to the table. This is something that was very new to us a couple of years ago, but today it's the norm for many very big, small, or independent organizations. Another avenue where we've been seeing a lot of benefits of digitization for real estate is where I see is in strata sales. So previously, strata sales used to be available only to exclusive people or people with mandates or relationships with their existing partners. But today, I see the opportunity to really bring starter sales of commercial real estate space into the digital sphere. You could probably have a crowdfunding platform where people from all over the world with different interests or, different interests, but like-minded intent to purchase commercial real estate, you could all pool them in together. And you could honestly leverage the reach and ability that technology has to bring in various people to be able to attain this particular goal. That is the benefit that I see that we could really leverage from the digitization of starter sales with regard to commercial real estate. And could you just repeat the latter half of the question, please?
So basically the same thing as to how the digital marketing is going to be the new catalyst for real estate industry and its future. And I think you responded very well to it.
Absolutely. And another aspect where the digital aspect helps is with constant monitoring at site, with regard to with an investor, a starter sale investor, they have real-time access to seeing how their investment is really coming up at site. And all this with regard to my previous point of being able to sit remotely and even purchase or even maintain and operate a commercial asset. This is what the digitization allows you to do today.
Absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much for throwing light on this. I completely agree. Strata Sales has become the new REITs and on the smaller scale and being managed with softwares and technology extremely well. So thank you so much. I'll come back to you with a little more question on commercial a little later. But let me introduce Reeza, Sebastian. Amongst all the people in here, I'm a fan of hers, though I have not interacted too much with her personally. So Reeza is a professional member of the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. She has over 18 years of experience in the field of brand management, marketing and sales, spanning diverse industries such as real estate, FMCG, and ITES industries. At Embassy, she oversees an ongoing portfolio valued at over 1 billion USD and is a key contributor to the group's strategies, operations, and decision making. This lady inspires many in the industry, and it's her hard work that has made her a brand with the brand Embassy she works for. Reeza, I always have a story to say. So with all the hard work and the professional work that you've done, I'm sure everybody here agrees that marriage is a equally hard work too. And I can narrate a story that even after all the years, almost 3 decades that I've been married, my wife and I continue to work extremely hard to keep this thing alive, And I keep saying this till COVID, almost twice a week, we would go out for a candlelit romantic dinner and a dance. She goes on Tuesdays and I go on Fridays. So marriage is definitely hard work. Just kidding. Reeza, in terms of technology, they say the best place to hide a dead body is on the page 2 of the Google search results. If you're not on page 1, you're not there. So my question is, residential sales have definitely picked up after the shutdown and the downturn, that's evident. What has been your strategy digitally in the past? How did it change through the pandemic? And what do you think, for all our audience, is the winner strategy in digital marketing in times to come? Reeza.
Thank you, Samir. I must say that your wife is the biggest sport there is out there, okay? For all the jokes you crack on her, she's the best sport there is. So I am a big fan of her, Samir.
Thank you so much.
So coming back to your question, I would say that you've known the brand for so many years. We've been around for almost 35 plus years, and customer centricity has been the core of whatever Embassy does, right? So while we focused on becoming digitally adept, we had to combine our emphasis on human interaction. And that's been a very, very important part of what we do across brand touchpoints to chart a very seamless customer journey. Now, interestingly, in 2018, we launched an online portal for the first time in India while we were designing a project meant for millennials and first-time homebuyers. That was Embassy Edge at Embassy Springs. Some of you may know about it already. It's India's first Alexa-enabled homes. Here we were designing a product for people under 35 years of age. So immediately we had to figure out how did they consume information. So research showed that 56% identified online as their main source of information, and just 16% looked at print. Google and Facebook together accounted for almost 80% of India's digital advertising. So the entire marketing strategy moved online. Can you imagine? We did not print a single brochure to sell that project. So what we created, and the person who helped us do it is already there on the panel. That's Vikram. We launched a very efficient portal that not only enables online booking, but also caters to the entire post-sales management, which allowed customers to manage their accounts, track construction, manage documentation, raise tickets for issues. Real-time virtual support was provided. So customers could actually download this app and stay connected throughout their journey with us. Now, with the onset of the COVID crisis, we had to switch gears immediately. Like I said, human interaction interface was very important. But apart from this traditional online presence, we had to equip our brand touchpoints by implementing VR, AR, chatbot systems, providing online support, enable buyers to experience their project at their own pace and convenience. So all this, while it creates interest and awareness, I still believe, like Amit said, customers, it's a very high engagement product, high involvement product. So that visit to the property is very, very important. And, we deal a lot with luxury homes. So this is vastly and specifically applicable for luxury home buyers. Now, you asked me about a winner strategy. I would say two things. There is too much information out there. How does one break through this clutter? So it is important to create a very strong, very recognizable brand online, since it creates that customer confidence. It also shapes the ownership experience and influences the buying decision. And very important to design a well-designed customer journey. Now that has to be supplemented by very, very high value content, experiential technologies. Now this results in customer engagement, which will effectively lead to a much better ROI on your campaigns. Now that digital customer journey should be scalable. It should allow for cross-sell. For example, we are in the commercial space, we're in residential. Now, how can we cross-sell between the two? It should require lesser overheads and should render a lot of real-time actionable insights, which we as marketers can use to design product and innovation in our entire marketing campaigns.
Wow, that was extremely well summed up. And I think there is a correlation set up in all three of you have spoken. Thank you so much, Reeza. Let me move on. My next question is to Mr. Srinivasan, the CEO of SNN Builders. With years of advertising, communications, marketing experiences, Srini is currently at the helm of SNN Builders Private Limited and has ensured that the company is placed within the top 10 real estate developers in Bangalore within a very short span of time. Prior to joining SNN, he was with TBWA, and I love the disruptive video that you sent me, Srinivasa. That was fantastic. TBW is based in the Middle East and as managing director and has coordinated some of the best brands with his team on key international accounts. Innovator and disruptor par excellence and a man with many qualities. Srinivasa, before I ask a question, I wish to say that my personal experience with NRI investors over the years has been absolutely fantastic, especially the home buyers. And I have learned one thing: we can take the NRI out of India, but we can't take the Indian out of the NRI. So that's a great factor for us. Before I ask you the question, I'm going through a little problem on NRIs. My son is an NRI now. And he told me the other day, Dad, neither will I marry, nor will I allow my children to marry. So that's one thing that we've got to deal with. But coming to the home segment, sir, my question is, NRI segment has been an important share of Indian real estate investment. What approach should the developer and realtor follow digitally to keep the NRI investment engaged in the Indian segment, because it's an important aspect? Srinivasa.
Hi, good evening, everybody. The thing is, it's an interesting question, but both Amit and Reeza covered as far as, because SNN is involved only in residential side of it. And both Amit and Reeza have covered a majority of what needs to be said as far as the fraternity is concerned. But there again, it's always, the first speakers always get the plum of things to say whatever they like, and I'm left with nothing. Either the I may have to chew on the chewed, or whatever you guys think about it. Let me move away from whatever they said. As far as the home buyer is concerned, Reeza said a very valid point that trust factor is at the lowest step in terms of home buying is concerned. Whether you agree or not, that's a different question. Basically, what we do at SNN is, at least me and the managing director, Mr. Nitin Agarwal, make sure that customers are given the right information and we don't lie in terms of whatever we do. That's number one. These are all apart from all these digital, print, outdoor, radio, whatever you want to do, you can continue to do that. And number two is in TBWA, we have a very great saying that whatever advertising should be what you think it should be. And if you were to buy a home or a television or something, whatever product you want to, you'll have to tell the truth. It's all about self. So we speak the truth. If you see all the communication from TVW, from SNN is all about, we tell the truth. Say, for example, if you are delayed by 6 months, we tell them 1 year in advance that we are delayed 6 months. So customers really appreciate all those things. Going back to what we do with NRI is, this is the right time as far as NRI market is concerned. We have seen that NRI business has contributed to closely over about 12 to 14% in the last about 3 to 4 months, if I can say. Basically because NRIs, as you rightly said, they're definitely, their heart is towards India, or even if they have settled permanently also, the return on investment, as Reeza said, that it is on the highest as far as Indian real estate is concerned. Not at this point in time. I'm sure by the time, maybe the second half of 2021, I think when the market will see some kind of a green shoots, and then in a much better way, I think we all will reap the results. Currently, it has to be kind of a patience in terms of whatever we do. And this is where the disruption works as far as the market is concerned. You can't have the same kind of a creative to work with NRIs with a happy family by the poolside of a rendered image. It doesn't work really well. So you need to tell the truth. You need to tell them the right thing in terms of whatever we do. So yes, we do a lot of things. Digital is going to be the next, at least for next couple of years, and then onwards also, basically because print has become very expensive, because Times of India is the only one which we look up to. But as far as the NRIs are concerned, definitely digital works. The creative needs to be different, and what you want to convey, the message needs to be absolutely bang on, because they definitely have some of their relatives and friends who will visit your projects, but we make sure that everything is done smoothly in terms of whatever we do, be it Google Ads or Insta or Facebook or Twitter, YouTube, you name it. Because now people are saying digital is also fragmented. If you go to see where you want to spend, you really don't know where you want to spend. You really can't put your money and then think that, okay, I have done the right thing. Maybe you gotta have to visit, revisit, and then make it as tight as possible in terms of all your communication is concerned, and keep on producing. Maybe NRIs would like to see some kind of a development. Luckily for SNN, it's all about ready to move in projects with OC obtained. So we don't face too much of a problem in terms of what we have to sell as far as sales velocity is concerned. But still, a lot of NRIs prefer to be told the truth, and I think we have done fairly a good job in doing that. Thank you.
Fabulous, sir. Fabulous. Very detailed explanation, and that should help everybody market to the NRIs. Our next speaker, Mr. Vikram Kotnis, somebody I haven't had the pleasure of meeting before, so pleasure to meet you, sir.
Pleasure to meet you.
He's the MD of Sell.Do Amura Marketing Technologies. Vikram is a seasoned marketeer with a technological outlook to problem solving. Wow. He has over 18 years of experience in incubating and scaling up successful businesses. While Amura is a growth marketing agency, Vikram also co-founded Sell.Do, a product company which provides comprehensive CRM solutions in the real estate domain, something that we can't do about. Vikramji, I personally think hell is unpopular because it's very, very badly advertised. Nobody's actually been there. So who better than you to tell us and our audience the power of technological advertisement with the digital world? I don't know if digitally my brain problem can be solved, but my wife thinks that my brain is a masterpiece too. It has two parts, the left and the right, and the left has nothing right in it. The right has nothing left in it, is what she thinks. So my question to you, Vikram, is adaptation to technology, whether it is a CRM or digital marketing, is a must. We all understand that. But what role will it play in the future of real estate? And what are the new technologies, apps, etc., that are on the horizon that will disrupt and change the industry more digitally? Vikram sir.
Yeah. So all this is music to my ears, because we are the first, by the way, real estate marketing company in India digitally. 12 years back, I remember asking people for a 50,000 rupee budget, and I had to literally beg to get a 50,000 rupee budget digitally. And today I get run a monthly 50 crore without flinching, right? So basically that's how the industry is changed today. Fundamentally, real estate is probably the most complex sales anybody would do, right? Because there's the gross merchandise value being high, the biggest investment a person will do. And then there are channel partners, there's direct sales, there is affiliates, now there's digital. So you have to run kind of a full funnel marketing and optimize it at every level. I think the industry is thinking platform that and not going beyond just a lead management platform. So we started the innovation with Embassy, and thanks to Reeza, we were to put that faith to take the leap into the digital era. And last month with Mahindra, we actually did almost 400 transactions touchless, right from the first inquiry to actually till agreement. Everything was digitally signed, including the financial approvals, KYC, customer experience, channel partner management, and everything was done online. And the kind of precision and velocity with which you can do sale in this market, closing 300 sales within a span of 1 month and doing agreements in the next 1 month is what we were able to achieve actually. And so it's not just a CRM. At the top of the funnel, you have to look at advertising automation platforms that allow you to optimize your funnel. Connecting your CRM and advertising data becomes extremely critical. Secondly, customer journey tracking, right? Everybody just looks at Google Analytics and gets the report because that's what people know. But consumer analytics or a customer analytics is so important because just your gross merchandise value is so high. The next piece, as Reeza said, is the customer experience, inventory selection, property selection, standardizing that. Because if my salesperson screws up, that 1 crore directly goes out of the window, right? So customer experience, tracking that, treating the whole thing as e-commerce and bringing all the data back to the lead and tracking the whole consumer journey and every touch point has become more and more critical, and digitizing it. So today, I think it's the era of vertical CRMs or solutions and not just thinking platforms, because technology is as good as people that are using it, right? So you need experts who understand real estate, the complexity that's involved in the real estate sales, and kind of put together a good solution around it, right? And every launch comes with its own challenges actually. And so we recently launched Shapurji. They again did 500 units in basically a month. And the kind of rush that happens, right? Because nobody wants to extend the sales today. So either you sell 60, 70% plus of your inventory at get-go so that you have free cash flow down the line, because that's become the biggest problem for any developer. And if you've seen, the survivors in the industry are the ones with good cash flow today. So the strategy has been do brute force, automate a lot of things. So every aspect of business needs to be automated, right from your marketing to your channel partner management, their incentives, that gamification, bringing in transparency to them to be able to expose inventory for them to book that, to be able to go back to a customer quickly, service him, to be able to get a financial approval, sign it digitally, provide assistance and service online, to be able to do the negotiations online. So you need a negotiation engine in between to be able to show the property and quickly move into the final sale, right? So marketing automation, CRM, I think customer experience tools and consumer analytics. These are the critical pieces which are rapidly changing with digital signing and everything. And this will become the norm going forward. Whoever adopts this will be able to move faster. And I'm already seeing Mahindra 3 projects. The adoption has helped them move much faster, collecting, locking the sales down. and getting on to the next project, right? So that's going to be the norm in the future, actually. Thank you.
Wow, that was fantastic. Automation is obviously the key, and we all understand it. Just as a reminder, we've overshot the time a little bit, not too much, a little bit. And since we are all RERA compliant, let's bring the round of questions a little more quickly than usual to cover up the time. So my next question, coming back to Mr. Amit. Sir, digital literacy is the ability to use technology to navigate, evaluate, and create worthwhile information. This is what I understood. But the biggest mistake I made in life is by getting A+ in college all through. And today I see the guys who got C+ are all the tech gurus with C+ and C++ in the IT industry, basically. But no regrets. While they were learning Java, I was doing in college Mar Java and Mid Java. So I did a PhD. Just kidding. Sir, my question to you, Amitji, is what about digital literacy, and will India cope up, especially related to real estate, with high digital illiterate consumer or customer? Amitji.
I would beg to disagree over here, because Indian consumer is not illiterate when it comes to real estate. Largely because, you see, all of us are representing towns which are essentially the top leading metros of India. And even if I were to just migrate to a tier 1 town after the Bangalore's and the Mumbai's and the Pune's and Hyderabad's and Chennai's of the world, the next set of 10 towns are equally well on the digital adoption curve, if I were to say. Thanks to Facebook, thanks to WhatsApp, thanks to Instagram, thanks to such kind of platforms that have got created, people even in the lowest strata of society is today connected or having certain accounts there some way or the other. So that way, the adoption of this digital platform across various social circles, social strata is very much there. It's just that how well we make it easy for them to comprehend, how well we kind of create the convenience for them to consume the information on that platform. And that, as a role, as a marketeer, it's our role to ensure that these set of consumers understand what we want to convey to them, or what we want to share as a piece of information to them. So the ease with which we can, stitch all of it in a way that the customer understands, definitely yes. It becomes very informative for the customer, because of which since they are on this platform, and hence it is easier for them to associate with us what we want to communicate with them in an easier way. So at least I would not say that even my 1,000th customer or the 2,000th customer or the 5,000th customer is illiterate digitally. No, I won't agree to. And at least for the next 5 years, by the time we expand this entire real estate boom to the tier 3 and tier 4 cities, I think the consumers there would be far, far informed, and they'll be well ahead of the curve. So that way, I don't think there will be any kind of illiteracy on the digital side. No, I don't think so.
Absolutely fantastic, Amitji. I completely agree. Look at the amount of smartphones sold in India. I think the digital literacy is way far higher than the actual literacy in India.
I'll just quickly, one more point I just want to tell you. This COVID pandemic, it was just not the middle class or the upper middle class or anybody in these urban cities who were hit. Even if you were to look at a basic, a plumber, electrician, or a driver or a housemaid, even their kids going to government schools or public schools or schools with less amount of digitization, they took slightly longer time. And I remember my driver telling me that, sir, मेरे पास एक ही smartphone है, मेरे बच्चे को स्कूल में वो smartphone पे वो school करना चाहते हैं. The first thing that I thought was, if he comes on duty tomorrow, his child may not study, or may be deprived of attending a school. While I provided him with another smartphone, but the point that I want to make is that the penetration of smartphone technology, and with that the education around it, the information, the knowledge needed to maneuver on the smartphone has percolated much faster than the traditional form of education that we struggled for last 70 years. So that's my take on digital literacy across various stratas of population in India.
Absolutely agree. Fantastic, sir. Thank you so much. Darshanji, I'll come to you. Darshanji, the only time I've never understood my wife is only twice. One was before marriage, second was after that. But commercial real estate is something that I truly want to understand. So my question to you is, what do you think will be the impact on different segments of commercial real estate vis-a-vis the traditional office spaces, SEZs, tech parks, retails and malls, and the new age co-working, co-living commercial spaces? And how will digital marketing be a mega catalyst to each of these? Darshan.
Well, Samir, I'm going to take that question in another format. I'm just going to address your earlier question from about how work from home has been, being addressed in today's commercial real estate segment. Now, even for that matter, I would even argue that co-working has become a more traditional subset of our commercial real estate, because co-working players occupy spaces in very, in what you said, SEZs, tech parks, and the likes of that. So they're as much a traditional part of our real estate today than they were like 4 years ago. With regard to the work from home culture and the flexibility that digitization has offered us, and it has worked pretty well for us so far. We've many companies, IT companies, still continue to work from home, and that has been primarily because of how technology has evolved over time. If you were to take the situation we're faced with today with COVID, etc., if that would have happened to us maybe a decade ago, work from home would not have been that sustainable, and it's not something that would have been that could have gone on for nine or 10 months now. But the shortcomings of digitization with commercial real estate would be, or office spaces would be, the fact though digitization enables work, it is still, humans are still very social beings. They will still require engagement with their peers to interact with people, etc. So while there is still some reluctance to come back to work, I think the fact that we will probably have a vaccine in the ups pretty soon. There are already vaccines happening in the UK, and the fact that we are that much close to being again operable from the office. So digital work from home has worked pretty well for us, but I feel people are going to get back to the office pretty soon. And digitization, also a limitation of that would be the fact that many employees today probably don't have the infrastructure per se that various clients would need in terms of their security at home as well. So I feel digital technology has enabled us to continue with work during this time, we will still have to get back to our commercial office spaces to, in the long run, for everyone to be happy and sound.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. Once the vaccine is around, I'm coming out with a tagline: either work from office or double work from home. Choice is yours. And I think that's what will bring people back to offices. So Reeza, my next question is coming to you quickly. Reeza, they say if a star is falling and you make a wish, the wish comes true. So the other day I saw a falling star and I made a wish saying, give me the power to forecast what my wife is thinking. And the star went back and joined the original star, So I couldn't do anything. But very quickly, what is the market trend forecast and how do we all get ready for the future reality digitally?
Okay, Samir, I'm going to throw in some interesting statistics. I mean, staggering numbers, For every day that passes, almost 200,000 Indians go online for the first time. Another staggering statistic, 500 million active internet users in India today. So you can imagine the amount of digital footprint that we're talking about, that we as marketers have to analyze to understand customer behavior. But, so while all of us have tried different things during this pandemic, we have done project launches on Zoom, we have hosted channel partner meets, we've been so active on WhatsApp, Telegram, etc. I mean, I think even invested in SEO, remarketing, all of that. I think the entire crux of digital transformation is going to be about data. I think data is the new gold in real estate, and analytics, which will allow a deep dive into this data and derive knowledge, will be where the market is heading. So the entire process is, you can track it online, you can calculate ROI, campaign level efforts, you can help with, this can help with budget optimization, improve conversions. The benefits are many. But again, I go back to the fact that the future of brand management is about connecting the brand experience with customer experience, right? Now, it's about focusing less on clever media planning, but more on identifying and solving problems. Focus on the art of storytelling. Focus on customer journeys, not on funnels. Focus on customer experience, which is delightful. It has to be personalized. It has to be relevant. It has to be empathetic. All of these are very, very strong factors. But whatever we may do as marketers, it has to be, marketing alone cannot work. It has to be coupled with strong distribution. For instance, at Embassy, channel partners contribute almost 60% of our business. I mean, they are actively driving lead generation online, and that's why they're able to bring it to us, for us. So product innovation is very important. Stellar service during construction and handover, very, very important. So investment in the right kind of employees is important. Execution and delivery, as well as strategy. So this is where the market and the real estate developer community has to focus on. And apart from the companies actually investing in digital transformation, all of this technology remains underutilized if you do not invest in employee capabilities. So companies also need to invest in their employees to reap the benefits of the technology that is available to them. So all of these have to be aligned, I would believe, in order to achieve sales and also to achieve the kind of transformation that we are looking for as developers.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And that's where real estate is so different from the FMCG and the other industries. And I keep saying this, consumers are statistics. Customers are real people, and that's what we cater to. So absolutely fantastic. I think I'll have to move quickly. Srini sir, what has SNN done differently digitally to achieve the meteoric rise in Bangalore market? Couple of minutes. Srini sir.
Sorry. Yeah, basically what we have done at SNN management level is, as Reeza rightly said, that you may do so many activities in whatever the platforms available, the media vehicles available digitally. You can do everything, but in the end, there is a kind of a human touch which is missing out. You will miss out on everything. So weekly, couple of days, we allocate for certain of the NRIs, certain of the customers. We all huddle together in the conference room and then try to connect to them. Same case goes with channel partners in terms of how we do it. So we need to do that effectively. It's not just about, as Reeza said, just advertise without really do that data analytics in terms of how we want to approach and reapproach all your existing leads and channel partners and NRI customers. It needs to be, you have to take it to a different level. There again, we have done a kind of a disruption workshop at SNN for all our sales, marketing, CRM team, because we had a lot of time. So in terms of, so we did a disruption workshop. I did 2 days of disruption days for all the guys. And then we said that it is not just communicate and just keep quiet and then waiting for things to happen. It will never happen. So me, Nitin, couple of our more directors, all of us joined in the conference room with proper social distancing. And we try to meet most of them as and when they want. Even we did it on a couple of weekdays, maybe on a Wednesday and Thursday. We said we will assemble. Anybody can just join in, and then we did our work from there. So somebody joining in a short notice of 10-15 minutes, they can join, and then we can try to meet them, talk to them. Not just buying a home, other things. If they want to know something about the Indian market, if they want to know something else, we have done that pretty well in terms of whatever we are doing. Maybe that's the reason why we grew. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reeza. Vikram, I'll pose the last question to you before we take questions from the audience. And let's welcome Sapna from Realty Plus, whom we see on the panel. Hi, Sapna. And I think I'll ask the last
Hi,
question.
Sapna.
Give it to you. Great. So, sir, Vikram sir, they say some men remain single and see wonders happen. Some get girlfriends and make wonders happen. And some get married and then wonder what happened, you know. So instead of wondering what happened, please guide us as to how do we power up the realty industry with technology enablement and digitization. Vikram.
So primarily, I worked in the US for 10 years and I used to run sales marketing there too, right, with large organizations. So the ability to adopt technology wholeheartedly and the process, that's the will to adopt technology in real estate. It's the last mover. And I see Amit smiling there. When when it comes to technology, I think we are the last mover. Look at where the finance industry is, right? And we do 50 lakhs or a 1 crore sale, and finance industry has small transactions. So I think whatever stack we have developed, we don't see anyone use more than 20% of it. People are not graduating from beyond lead management to actually servicing and kind of closing the sales. We are actually able to close the sales. We have done 150 sales 8 years back online. Means the customer has already moved online, but the companies are not moving online. And this was with Kolte Patil Nespace. We actually kicked in human factor, assisted buying, and all these things. This was done 8 years back, so it's already proven that the consumer is online. The industry, instead of adopting this, they are depending more on basically enabling the channel partner because nobody wants to do the hard work, I think. That's the trend I see. So channel partners are an important thing, but the hard work of adopting the technology, the processes, and solutions need to be done, and not say that, okay, I've got one platform now, everything is going to work for me, right? So if you got a Ferrari, you need to know how to drive it. So the management and young people like Darshan who are getting into technology and Reeza, they'll be the game changers where the technology adoption in the industry grows actually. And that's going to be the key where you continuously experiment, keep investing. Fortunately, if you work with the right people, the investments are not a lot. But I think somehow the real estate industry likes to spend a lot and then realize, okay, I've got a car which I can't drive. So basically, investing in the right technology, don't go for big ticket, but use small products, quickly plug it in, experiment, have a tech innovation team in-house to try out small things, run experiments. That's what we do as a growth marketing company. See what works for you, right? Every company is different. So the will to adopt technology has to grow, and an innovation team is a necessary. Tech and innovation team, I think it's the most underrated team in any real estate company right now. To have a conversation with a tech guy to a level where a business guy can get involved in all these. So I think is the top management has to get more tech savvy and will to adopt. That's it.
Thank you, Vikram. That was fantastic. Sapna, you should be happy. Instead of 50, I'm done in 52 minutes. And we'll remember Vikram for having the first real estate technology guy who sold a Ferrari online on a webinar. So Vikram, thank you for that. But Sapna, how do we take questions from the audience? Please assist us.
Thank you so much, first of all, Samir, for making it not only an informative but also an entertaining session. So we have time only to take one question, and I will give that to you, Samir. You have asked others questions. Let me ask you one. One of our audience asks is, what about reputation management? You know, because right now consumers are more concerned towards going towards trusted developers, branded developers. Trust is the biggest factor. How do people do reputation management online? Is that even a focus for developers?
You want me to respond to this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I personally think reputation management is probably the most key factor. Irrespective of how digital we get, I personally believe, customer is not a lead. Lead is just a lead generation, beyond which it becomes a customer. Yes, in today's world, a lot of channel partners just generate a lead, but there is somebody else at the developer side who's building that relationship. People from the old school of thought like me definitely have built the whole businesses on relationships. And just for your information, there is enough technology available, including software programs and apps for reputation management. There is one in Bangalore which has been used very, very well, and you could sync it with your Google, with your Facebook, with your LinkedIn, and there are companies that manage the reputation because digital reputation management is even way far more critical than personal reputation management, for the simple reason that it goes anywhere and you don't even know where all is it reaching. So reputation is built brick by brick, stake by stake. So that's where I think Reeza mentioned it beautifully, recognized branding is extremely important. And at every scale, if you see, I think the whole of last year, I've said it on a few forums and I'll repeat it. A lot of people said, big will grow, small will vanish. Whether it was demonetization, GST, RERA, and now COVID. And I have continuously maintained organized will grow, unorganized will vanish. And to be organized, reputation management will be an extremely crucial part along with your digital.
That's true. That's true. Walk the talk after all, whether you are a big brand or a small brand. So thank you so much, all our speakers. Samir, for wonderfully conducting this session and giving a very, a great conclusion to this entire conclave of the day. So thank you so much for being here with us. Vikram, sharing your technology views. Maybe they were different from others, but very valuable thoughts that you shared with us. Amit, thank you for being here with us, giving us the larger perspective on the subject. Srini sir, again, it's always a pleasure to have you with us.
Nice to see you after a long time.
Yes, of course. And Darshan, again, we meet and again we talk about the same subject. So thanks again for sharing your thoughts with us. Reeza, again, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, on various real estate subjects. We will be in any case seeing you in a very short while now again. So thank you everyone for being here with us and have a great evening.